Hello, and welcome to another episode of In My Experience with yours truly, Christine DeGinto. This podcast is a space where I speak from lived experience. The moments that shaped me, challenged me, and changed the way that I understand myself in the world. The awakenings, the breakdowns, the moments that cracked me open, asked me to stay present, be embodied, and be honest with myself. I share my stories not to persuade or define truth for anyone else, but to offer perspective, to explore the gray areas we don't often have language for, to slow things down and listen more closely to what's happening beneath the surface. You'll hear solo episodes where I reflect on my own initiations, spiritual gifts, and the systems that tried to define me. And conversations with guests who have walked strange, beautiful, and sometimes painful paths of their own and come back with wisdom to share with us. I invite you to take what resonates, leave the rest, and trust your own experience as valid. Thank you for being here. This is In My Experience. Hello, I'm Christine, and here we are again in another episode of In My Experience. Today, I'm sitting down with a friend from school, Bobby Eppleman, to talk about the messy, meaningful, complicated path of becoming real in our lives. Bobby is a speaker, a teacher, a husband and father, and someone who has walked a long road from achievement-based identity and alcoholism into vulnerability, therapy, and connection. Before we dive in, I want to say that this conversation happens inside mutual consent. We are sharing our lived experiences, our perspectives, and what we've learned along the way. Nothing in here is advice or prescription, just reflection. In this episode, I talk about my spiritual awakening and the years of unwinding that followed, including recovery after harm in a former business partnership and relationship. Bobby shares how redefining success changed the way that he leads, parents, and shows up in the world. We talk about masculinity, crying, emotional vocabulary, and why the quote, "I'm great," is often the least honest sentence in the English language. If you are someone learning how to be seen without armor, this one will meet you right where you're at. Let's get into it. I'm so thankful for you to take the time to talk with us, and I'm very excited to have this conversation. I see that you're changing directions with what you're focusing on. You're becoming more aligned as a motivational speaker, a coach.
Yeah, I guess I
Uh,
I don't I don't use the term motivational speaker,
yeah,
but what I
I
do
get
is
motivated when you
oh,
speak. So I'm just saying.
I'm happy to hear that. I
Yeah,
I say I inspire high performers to reclaim their lives by embracing vulnerability.
I love that.
And the word inspire is the big one because I feel like when you inspire a person, you're giving them or you're putting them in the driver's seat. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not helping them. I mean that's part of the process, but I'm inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being a guide and a leader in the sense that you don't lead. I think it's interesting, and this is random, but also it applies. Recently, I learned that alpha, like the alpha male, what they determined scientifically as like studying wolves, being an alpha wolf, they were wrong. The the
Uh-huh.
the scientist who coined that phrase actually spent the rest of his career trying to say, actually, I was wrong. That's not how it worked. But like the trajectory was just like, you know, one way. So
Yeah.
it's so interesting. There are so many things that I learned recently, like phrases that actually mean the opposite. And it's interesting. It's fascinating to me. how things can be taken out of context. A little bit before we started recording here, I told Bobby sort of in the way that this works and how I tell everyone, if you ever feel like you need to take a break or you need to use the restroom, something happens, no worries, I can edit things. And he was just like, yeah, I don't need that. Whatever comes out. I'm me right now. And I was like, I love that so much, but we didn't capture it on video. But so Bobby, tell me a little bit about what has been going on for you in recent times and how you got here.
Yeah, so I'll give you the whole rundown. For most of my life, achievement, it wasn't just something that I did, it was who I was. I was an all-American athlete, I was disciplined, I was like the guy, if the game came down to the wire, it was on me. And if something felt off, I never talked about it. I just got the job done, I worked harder. And for a long time, that worked, but when sports ended for me, the structure it made that achievement, like how it felt safe before, that all disappeared. So I ended up doubling down. I just stayed busy in life. I just stayed productive. And because achievement had become the way that I functioned and felt secure, it was the way that I stayed ahead of not having to feel anything.
Uh-huh.
um, Eventually that achievement, it just stopped working and I couldn't outrun it. I couldn't outwork it at that point. And my mental health had reached a point where I was really suffering. And I realized I couldn't keep doing it alone. And the boldest decision I ended up making in that process was just not to push harder, but to start opening up to people.
Mm-hmm.
I found a therapist. I started opening up to friends and family about just how bad things had gotten. And I really leaned on my wife when I couldn't lean on myself, which I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't used to doing. I wasn't used to having someone that I could be vulnerable around. And in doing that, that is how I feel I really chose to take charge of my life, and I decided to live at that point.
I'm
Not by
so, it's so beautiful that you're describing the vulnerability you shared with your wife. And I find it so, so beautiful and necessary. The combined energy and effort, like when you truly have a partnership and the masculine and feminine aspects, and that is like how it's supposed to be. There's men are supposed to be vulnerable, and it's such a sin that had the programming that you all have received and how people a lot of men process internally things that are going on with themselves and little do they know how they're not alone, but nobody talks. Men don't talk about their feelings. And it's sad. I'm
Yeah.
so thankful that you do. And you took that majorly courageous step to open up and found the connection and joy and are able to, like, hold others in that now too. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, coming back to what you said about the alpha wolf or even the alpha male, we take on these roles as people through our
Mm-hmm.
lives. And I know
Mm-hmm.
as a male, being strong and being aggressive and being, you know, taking charge and initiative, that's just not who I ever was in that way. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're coming into a time now where men can be assertive, men can be powerful and strong, but it's not the way we thought it was before. I think
Mm-hmm.
it comes from more of a place where vulnerability is the driver in that
Yeah.
case, and we are starting to hopefully play our part a little bit more intentionally, a little bit more effectively, rather than just following the age-old rules of how we're supposed to behave.
Yes, absolutely. And along the lines of finding people and mentors and having that exist in your reality, it really helps to spark other people and how important it is to have men in roles where they can inspire that and hold that true masculinity of just like holding what is and bringing into reality like grounded action. I feel like that is actually what masculinity is, and I feel like we have collectively been programmed to believe it to be like oppressive and dominating and controlling and like it's like the negative aspects, but like truly it would be someone for me personally. What comes to mind is Dr. Swimer.
Hmm.
I asked him if he would be a guest on the podcast to speak on exactly that because I think of him as such a, I've had some difficult times and I would ask myself, is everything really like a nightmare? Like this could be a nightmare. This reality could be a nightmare. My life could be a nightmare, and the world could be a nightmare, or it could be the opposite. And all
Yeah.
I have to do is find examples of like why I believe that it's truly good and beautiful. And I would think of people in my life that made me and others feel safe and uh just awesome people. And he was one of them. I saw him one day at Home Depot and I was like, this
Yeah.
might sound weird, but I've had some tough times recently, and when I try to think of good people in the world that exist to make me believe like this actually is good and I can trust and all, everything is beautiful, and you're one of those people. And he was just like, well, thank you, young lady.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I struggle to find role models in my own life who are pushing themselves in that way, and I've always looked at him the same way because I know he was an Iron Man. He was what's the word? He was warm, but he was also firm at the same time, and he
Mm-hmm.
knew how to take charge.
Mm-hmm.
There's a term for that in teaching, and I don't know why it's not coming to my head right now.
Okay,
But
maybe later.
yeah, maybe later.
Yeah, but one of his famous phrases was real men wear pink. And he would
Yeah,
wear pink ties and
yeah,
yep, yep. He was so funny. He would come into classrooms and he would check and he would poke fun and he would knew everybody's names. Man, I hope you guys meet him. I really hope he books with me. I'm sure he will. He is like he is an example of like an angel on earth. Like what a
yeah,
powerful holding pain and determination and
yeah,
difficulty like in a full life, but like the beauty he's brought to the world and sharing like education and going on missions and just how he's inspired so many people. Like I saw him one time at a retirement party, and it was kind of a surreal experience because he also, you all don't know, but he's towering. How tall do you think he is? He's over 6'5".
he had to be about 6'5".
Yeah, the son, yeah, 6'5" and real loud, booming voice. Um, anyway, so he's at this retirement party. Of course, he's like a celebrity. Everybody's talking to him. So
Yeah,
I see him and I'm like, oh man, maybe I'll talk to him. Like, I hope I wonder if he remembers me. Like, of course he remembered me, right? And so when I'm sitting there at dinner, I'm looking around at all the tables and I'm looking at this scene. And I'm thinking about the things that he shared on Facebook and like the different places he's been, different countries, different environments he's been in, shared in different cultures. And I'm looking at this scene where it's like, not to discredit this person's achievement in their retirement party, but like it was a literal banquet, open bar. We paid for the open bar, by the way, like we were a sponsor. So it's like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the fuck? What is this?
yeah,
Like there's so many more important things in the world and experiences that like I feel so shallow. And then I was like kind of ashamed of myself. And that might sound weird, but it's sort of like I think everyone should do that more often, probably. It's like reflecting on like in an empathetic way, like what else could be my existence right now and what other people have experienced and allowing that to open your framework of what matters and what to focus on. And so it's been an interesting experience. And all of these people in our lives are there very intentionally.
yeah.
Yeah. And the
It,
connections we share. It's fun.
yeah, and what I'm hearing you say is, he was such a healthy model for what a healthy relationship looks like between an adult and a child, as well as how we should be interacting with each other, and
Mm-hmm.
to be at a party like you were, and to be really seeing that. Um, that just shows how important relationships are and how important it is to show your true self, to be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable in those situations. It sounds like you were allowing yourself in that moment to be vulnerable and say, wow, the relationships that I have here, and the way they make me feel,
Mm.
have really done something to me.
Yeah, it's life. I hope people regularly ask, why am I here? What am I really doing? Am I doing enough? What
Yeah.
could I do better? And not in a pressure way, not in a way that we internalize and we say, I need to be doing better, I'm not doing enough. Like all the, there's a balance, the balance
Yeah.
between, and it's hard to find. But I saw something recently, and I've known this, but the way that she described it was beautiful. The synchronization, how synchronization works in heart cells, brain cells, pendulums, whatever. Like you could have it clicking all different times, but eventually, because of the tiny vibrations in time and space, they all
Yeah.
start synchronizing. And it's very important to have the collective energy open and synchronizing in a positive way, to the best of our ability.
Yeah. That's beautifully said.
Thank you. I don't even know what I just said, but
Yeah. Well, you'll get it on the
it just
playback.
it goes like that. So I don't know what happens, but yeah, tell me more.
All right. So if I'm jumping back into it, because I think we were right in the middle of like where I was when I was starting to turn things around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that moment that I chose to live, it wasn't just by trying hard and just trying to fix things. It was letting people in. And that choice, it reshaped everything in my life. It took almost a decade to do it, but my marriage, the way that I started leading, um, and really the way that I defined success. Um, but the one thing that never changed is I never stopped trying to achieve. And you've gotten to follow this journey. And it's been such a blessing to be able to follow your journey as well. I didn't stop achieving, but I did stop isolating, both emotionally and physically. And for anyone that's ever isolated, we know that that really can dig us into a deeper hole when we're suffering with depression, substance abuse, and it pulls us away from those relationships even more. And it can be a lot harder to get out of trouble, I guess, if you find
Mm-hmm.
yourself there. So that was one of the greatest things that happened, and that vulnerability ended up becoming this foundation for me, in building relationships and teams, the way I approach the family life. And when I began sharing my journey, um, I really started to see how high performers like ourselves, were stuck where I had been. They look successful on the outside, but they're so disconnected on the inside. And today I get to share my story, share my experience by teaching people to embrace vulnerability so that they understand what real connection feels like, and they don't have to go through life suffering.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, because we're not alone. That's why we're all here together.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, otherwise we'd be alone.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I know. And I don't know, can you answer this, because I know I can for myself, but was there a time in your life when you felt like it was just better to be a loner, and you realized something from that?
uh,
Whether it was better or worse to be that way?
I would say after in May of 2021, I had an abrupt spiritual awakening, and I've talked about that like several times because it usually comes up because this it was a major pivotal point,
Yeah.
which that is when I really felt like I wanted to be a loner. I did not want to be around other people. Things were really wiggly. It was uncomfortable for me. It only took about 5 years to unwind and be able to comfortably say that's because I'm a shaman.
Yeah.
I wasn't crazy. There's nothing wrong. I'm just able to see things on that level. See, hear, feel, smell, etc. So
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. But yes, I felt like I wanted to be a loner. I would rather to be connected with nature and animals and like plants. And then there was that felt good for a time, but then um yeah, I felt like it was really important for me to be normal and like go out and like do things because it is, right? But it's okay to have like smaller groups. You don't have to like open yourself up to like, you don't have to be on a podcast or make a podcast. You don't have to speak in front of people if you don't want to, but like opening up to your family in more honest ways. Um, I mean, like, how does that happen? It could be intentional. You could get like cards. Have you ever seen these like decks of cards. They're like flashcards where you can ask questions and it's for specific topics. Like it could be for family, it could be for relationship, it could be for like sex, like it could be whatever. And
Yeah.
like you could do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or it comes out in like you just have an emotional outburst and then you're able to like actually explain yourself because other people are seeing signs and
Yes.
eventually you have to talk about it. So I mean, you could either be proactive or you could exist and pick up on signs and hold things in, or, it's hard to compare, but I'm kind of getting off track.
That's okay.
Yeah,
It's good because I've enjoyed watching your journey from where you were, and I watch from the peripherals. It's mostly through social media,
yeah.
but if I'm correct in asking or saying, were you working through a lot of trauma at one point uh, to to get to where you are now?
Oh, yeah. It was like built up stress because I didn't have a great relationship. It wasn't balanced. Our workload wasn't balanced. Our communication wasn't good. There were things amiss, things that didn't add up. It was really stressful because then eventually, like, I mean, it was better when I worked on my own. I always had my own job,
Hmm.
and I managed like the household and the kids mostly. Um, and but then eventually I started working in business with my ex, and it was really things didn't make sense. The more involved I got, the less I understood what he was doing, what was happening. Nothing made sense. Like he wanted me to be a partner, he wanted me to run everything and do everything. He said, for our wills, we wanted to get things like the plan for our wills after we had our daughter and just normal things that a married couple does. And the question comes up, well, what do you want to happen if something happened to you, if you were to die? What do you want the business? He said, I want her to run it. Well, okay, if you want me to run it, then you should probably make me part owner. And if you want me to take money out of our home equity line of credit to put into a property that's owned by the business and I don't have any ownership of that, but you want me to work 60 hours a week for the business and put my money up for it and live my life around it for my entire life with him,
Hmm.
but not be honored in any way or recognized or secure, and I'm run ragged. Like it got to the point where it was like literally a clown show. Like it was just so outrageous
Yeah.
that it had to stop. Like it was just, and then I realized now that I actually believe it was intentional, like psychological abuse, um, emotional abuse, psychological abuse, sexual
Uh-huh.
abuse, financial abuse, all the kinds of abuse. And so I'm realizing it now because I didn't talk openly with anyone during that time. Um, I tried to tell my husband how I was feeling. I was always very honest and open, but like I didn't share my problems with people because when someone asks you, "How are you?" you're supposed to say, "I'm great."
Doing great. Yeah. Spent a lot of time doing that in my life.
Yeah, yeah, right. So, it's just so stupid. Like, why do we lie? We lie to ourselves when we do that. Like when someone asks you how you are, you have a rock in your gut, and you're
Yeah.
like, "I'm good."
Yeah.
Why? Why are
Yeah.
you lying? It's just,
I
mm,
I have a big emotions color wheel in my classroom, uh, or in my art classroom. And everyone's like, that's so great you have that for the kids. And I tell them, I'm like, I didn't put that up there for the kids. I put that up for myself when I was dealing with, I didn't know how to express a single emotion until I was in my maybe late 20s. Um, I kept everything bottled up. And whenever I was teaching and I started having moments where I just felt angry or sad, those are the two emotions I never learned how to process. It comes out in us. It comes out in us as adults. And I
yeah,
was like, this is not a way to show up in the classroom here. So I use that chart as a tool to allow myself to say, I feel really angry right now, but what flavor of angry do I feel right now? Am I frustrated? Why am I frustrated? Oh, because I feel like I just got betrayed by this kid, and that's bringing up feelings from childhood. Oh,
Hmm.
actually, that makes me feel really sad. So uncovering all of
Yeah, what
those
it actually,
emotions.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And can I ask you, when you were younger, did people tell you not to cry because you were a boy?
It was a big thing on the sports field. It was the locker room kind of tendency.
Uh-huh.
Don't be a pussy, suck it up, rub
Yeah.
dirt on it.
Yeah.
And to an extent, as an athlete, you have to be willing to put up with physical pain and play
Yeah.
through injury. But
Yeah.
we're talking on the emotional side where a
Hmm.
child is trying to express that they're in discomfort and it's psychologically hurting them. And
Hmm.
and having that message constantly generalized across the board was difficult to have to always fall in line with.
Yeah. And it's interesting because we as humans naturally cry. Like, don't you think it's funny we have to fight it back?
Oh yeah.
It's like,
I'm a
that's,
crier too.
yeah, right. And it's, well, it's medicine. The component, the chemical component of our tears are actually specifically designed for whatever we need, especially if they come from the inner part of your eye and they curl
Mhm.
in toward your mouth. You should let them go in your mouth because it's literally medicine.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to express that. Not only is that a spiritual aspect, but it's scientific. Like it just, it is. We're built for that and it
Yeah.
should be expressed. And it's a sin, I think, when people are told not to cry. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's sad. Instead of just someone like holding them in that,
Hmm.
like that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's the last time you had just a good cry?
Oh my gosh.
Like a sponge. You just got sponged out.
Oh my God. What did I cry about? I cry almost every day because something will make me cry. Like, but it doesn't last long. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
it's like joy and sadness, like whatever.
Oh
But
yeah.
the last thing I think I cried about was I saw an Instagram video and it was a girl cooking with her grandma and it was this pot and she's like, "Can I call the pot?" And she's like, "I don't know, it'll be up for dibs, like whatever." And then the whole family, like then like flash forward and the whole family was there with a bunch of stuff around and they had the pot up and called the girl like, "This is for you," and she was
Yeah.
crying and that made me
Oh,
cry because like that is magic and those items hold energy from our family members. That's like, material things don't matter, but they do when they have sentimental energy. Like they really hold energy
mm-hmm.
and in a feng shui dynamic. But it's everything has energy. But the last time I cried, like, and actually really started like wailing and crying was I had to suddenly cancel a trip that I had planned and I was disappointed. And
Yeah.
then I had to let that disappointment out.
Uh-huh.
But it's okay. It worked out in my favor. It was just sucked.
I'm
Um
happy to hear.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah. Maybe another time. I had a trip planned to go to Puerto Rico,
Hmm.
and I was going to go for a workshop to learn how to build cob structures, and that's the direction I would like to go for my own home. Like I don't want to buy a house in Chester County and have a mortgage. I want to build a home from the earth and have several different homes in different areas of the world. Like I don't want, you know what I mean? So I'm trying
Yeah.
to learn how to do that because it would be much cheaper if you did it yourself. So first of all, I need to learn. And that's how I do things. So I had planned to go to a workshop and then suddenly my daughter had some issues. She didn't want to go to school. She had some truancy issues and was having a tough time. She's a manifester though. If you know
Hmm.
anything about human design, like her energy isn't consistent. She sometimes needs rest cycles and she's growing and and I'm home. So I was like, I would like to homeschool her. And if I
Yeah.
homeschool her, she could come with me to this workshop and she could do her online school and learn this and experience, that's how I want to live. But my ex did not want that. So then he made some emergency orders, and then the judge said that I couldn't take her. So
Oh,
it was
yeah.
and it was the day before. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh
So
gosh. That must have been a difficult moment.
it was rough. It was really rough. Yeah. But it's okay because I was able to let it out.
Yes.
That's
The
why I let it
release is
out.
important. Yeah.
Yes, yes, because it was like that's not normal for me. I don't usually like get extremely emotional, but I do like I'll have tears. And they
Hmm.
come quickly and they leave quickly and I just let them come and go and it's
Yeah.
okay.
You
Yeah.
just move through the emotion, it
Yeah.
passes, and then you don't have to hold on to any other excess garbage
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah. I actually it's reminding me of a story that I posted yesterday about a Native American tradition where they'll gather stones, specific stones, and identify them with their trauma or what they want to release.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to the water and throw those stones intentionally, releasing that. And then they hold the last one, keep that as a reminder of what they released. And that it's actually like more effective than talk
Yeah.
therapy. Like,
There's a lot of power behind that. And I've
yeah.
seen that in various forms too, like release meditation where
Hmm.
you're thinking the thoughts, or in cognitive behavior therapy even, like
Yeah.
actively intentionally releasing the thoughts and watching, putting them in a boat. Oh my gosh, you're bringing me back to some of that. um Putting it in a boat and watching it sail down the
Yeah.
river, and your problem is going down. It sounds all woo woo when you don't know that world, but when it's all you have to grasp onto to get through that hard time in your life, you're like, I'm willing to do anything at this point. And
Yeah.
it actually does really help a lot.
Yes, yes, because we are so powerful in our intention. And when you visualize that, you use your imagination, that's
Yeah.
real. That really is. Your imagination is what you can draw from to help you feel how you want to feel,
Hmm.
right? It's just it's interesting. You can let it get run away and kind
Yeah.
of terrify you and get paranoid or self-critical, or you can let it surprise you and take things away that you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. Like children do. Kids
Oh,
can
I
do
know.
that, you know? I just
Yes.
I love observing their imagination and the way that they think and act. It's just so funny. It's
And
just
that's
so
my
funny.
my favorite age is kindergarten to
Mm.
teach,
Hmm.
because they do not get offended by anything.
Yeah.
And they won't turn a cheek to something that's happening that would normally make everyone go ooh. They get bumped into, they don't apologize, they're just like, oh, okay. They hold their own space, they don't get offended. I had a student last year, he was drawing in class and he just yells out, what the fuck? And not one kid in that kindergarten class, turned to see what he said.
Well, they're probably used to all their parents saying.
Well, yeah, well, that kid was, because when I went to him, I'm like, hey, bud, do you know what you just said? Because the other kids were like oblivious to it. And I'm
That's
like, do you know
hilarious.
what you said? He's like, yeah, my parents say it all the time.
Oh
And
my
I'm like, okay,
gosh.
bud, well, in here, like I had my kindergarten teacher voice on,
Yeah.
but it just, for me, I'm like, that is so raw human. They haven't been intercepted by, the judgment train yet,
Mm-hmm.
where they're going to
Mm-hmm.
start acting a certain way and showing up a certain way based on how they think others want them to show up.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. For a little while, I was a swim instructor at a kid's swimming place. It was fun. I did it last winter
Hmm.
because I had the time during the day because I've not taken a job like a, 9 to 5 with someone else. So I was like, oh, I could just do that for a couple hours,
Yeah.
be in the pool, get some exercise, and watching the kids experience something that they're not sure about, but they take the risk and then they succeed and how proud they are.
Yeah.
It's like magic. Like that energy is so powerful. It's kind of like that's what powers the world, you know?
Yeah.
It's so fun. I love that. And how adults, when working through their inner child stuff, can, when, on the healed end of the spectrum, can allow that in and go have
Yeah.
fun. Like I can't tell you how many crazy stares I've gotten from people like over the years at a playground. Like I'll just run around and like play on the playground equipment and like, play with the kids and stuff. And
I
people are
could see
just
you
like,
doing that.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm like so weird. I'm like make dinosaur noises. Like people are like, what is she doing? But who cares? Because we were here to play. So, I mean, it's just fun. But
Well, here's to bringing out the inner child in us every day.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, it's fun. Except for sometimes, now I'm homeschooling my daughter and um she'll want to do everything with me. And we have this awesome space in the basement that's like gymnastics and area with half of it's art and half of it's like gym.
Uh-huh.
And she'll want to go down there and I'm like, can you please go down? I'm like doing the dishes, I'm cooking, I'm doing whatever. And I'm like, I'm not a kid, I can't just play. And then I'm like, I shouldn't say that, you know what I mean? Because I can just play, like we
Yeah.
just choose. I could just say, you know what, I'm gonna stop doing the dishes and go down and play, or maybe she can help me do the dishes and then we can play together. It's like there's always a way. But yeah, we have to get away from that mindset of like, I don't have time to play.
I know.
I have work
That's
to
all we
do.
do have right
Yeah.
now.
Right? Yeah.
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 That's how I
But
feel.
I keep cutting you off with your story. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Bobby.
it's
I'm like
okay.
winding all over the place, but
Oh, I feel like these are the best types of interviews or podcasts or when you you speak on the topics that you want to speak on, but you draw in the connection of what your brand is or your beliefs are, and you mesh those together because I think that's the content people want to hear is how do you come into everyday situations in life.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about, are you still pursuing art? Like, do you do your own art or you get your fill at school? Tell me about your art world.
So my fill at school is different than the fill that I get from making art myself.
Yeah, true.
One thing that I realized later on is when I quit drinking, I jumped right into this identity of I'm an artist. I'm going to make it my career. And it became a healthier obsession for me.
Yeah.
And while it is a healthy thing to do, I just I was so lost with knowing who I was because the only thing I thought I was an athlete. And then I was an alcoholic. And then when I stopped that, I was like, well, I guess I'm nothing now. I'm good at art. I love art. I've always done it. Let me pursue. And that's the side where achievement for the achievement for the purpose of feeling fulfilled or feeling loved and filling gaps in my life, that's where that really started to show up as a pattern because I
Mm-hmm.
did that as an athlete. I thought that if I got to the highest level, I would finally be loved. I would finally be looked at in a way, but it was really just myself wishing that I could look at myself as being worthy of love. The same thing happened with the art business, and I finally sold out a show and was empty. And I was like, I know this feeling. I've had this feeling before, but I had my wits about me and I said, I did it wrong again. Shoot, I fell into the pattern. And that's when I really noticed the pattern of how achievement became my drug. It was just the only way I thought I could feel loved. And when I finally confronted that, I started to see just what the best mode of feeling loved was for me. And that was in having deep, connected, vulnerable relationships with people and
Mm-hmm.
letting people know how they have come into my life and how they have affected me. One of the things that I do every day is I send a message to someone in my life and I tell them exactly what they mean to me, the
It's
impact that they've had on me. I go deep. I might give them a motivational speech. I might call them up to be like, you need to get on whatever that thing was that you gave up. And I don't know what it is, but we all have something because we're human. And
mm-hmm.
it's so much received and appreciated by people.
Yeah.
And it just confirms what the power of vulnerability and openness can do to our relationships for healing and for progressing our relationships as well.
Yeah, totally. It's so funny because right when you started talking about that, I was going to say, I remember you sent me a message like out of the blue and you were like, "Hey, I just want to let you know you really helped me, whatever." Like, I think you were talking about how I commissioned you for the painting of the house.
Yeah.
And you were like, I just want to thank you for that. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I wanted that picture from you because you're a great artist. Like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was the relationship side that I failed to see at the time. Because at the time I said, "Oh, she wants a commission. I'm going to make some money and it's cool. I'm doing art." But
yeah,
really it was, "Hey, Bobby, like this is coming from you. This is a
yeah,
special thing.
yeah,
Your relationship with me means something." And I
yeah.
feel like there are moments in our lives we don't tell people about how they affected us. I was just thinking, I've never told you this, but I remember I remember how I got into the band Sublime.
Oh, yeah,
And
I love them.
it was because of you.
Oh, really?
Because in seventh, I think it was seventh grade, in Mrs. Weaver's music class, we sat next to each other. We had that horseshoe shaped desks,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
sat
yeah.
next to you. I barely knew you, but I did know on your backpack or on something you had a Sublime sticker
That's
or a
funny.
water bottle. Did we carry water
Something.
bottles then?
I
I
don't,
don't know.
yeah, what?
Um,
Were we just dehydrated all the time? We didn't
and
carry water bottles.
yeah, you had the Sublime sticker, and I'm like, Chrissy's cool. She's
Oh,
like with the cool crowd. So I'm like, I need to find this. And I'm like rooting through my parents' CDs and I find the Sublime CD, the one where he's got like the tattoos on the back or whatever. And I found it. And whenever I would listen to that CD, I'm like, Chrissy would approve of this. And so I got so into Sublime because of that sticker on your binder. I don't even remember where it was.
that's
But
so funny. Probably on my binder, yeah.
to get into a band so much just because of that moment
Yeah.
and to not share that kind of cool special experience with someone as random as it is, why don't we do that more?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And
people
so
love hearing it.
I say things sometimes, and sometimes people are a little, maybe it's because they don't know how to receive it. So I shouldn't take it personally. But
Yeah.
for example, years and years ago, I was at Target one day and there was a woman in front of me and she had two young children and they were, I don't want to say they were well behaved because they were quiet and staying still, but they were quiet and staying still. So
Hmm.
I was like, look at them. You know what I mean? Like, look at how sweet. Like they're just like
Yeah.
chilling. And there was like an empty banana peel on the conveyor belt and I was like, oh, one of the kids got hungry and that's sweet. She's paying for it. Like that's good. And then I'm looking at the things that she's buying and it's for organization and cleaning and like whatever. And, I just, something came to me. And this is part of like my spiritual gifts. Like it's not me thinking it. Like, but I do need to convey things sometimes because I get this overwhelming feeling like my heart starts pounding. I keep hearing it in my head. Like, and I'm just like, I feel weird. Like I can't say that. I can't just like start talking to her. Like she's busy. Like what? Stop. But
Uh-huh.
something was like, say this to her. And I was like, excuse me. I just wanted to let you know, in case no one let you know today or recently, that you are appreciated. I just wanted to let you know how appreciated you are and you're doing a wonderful job. And like, look at you go. And, and she started to cry. And then like the people around, like the cashier and like different other people, they're all like, "Oh," and I was just like, then I felt weird because I was like, "Oh, I didn't mean to like make you cry, but that's beautiful." And it was a
Hmm.
nice moment. And she thanked me for saying that, and I'm like, "Of course." Like I felt like I had to, like, you know.
Yeah.
So just doing that kind of stuff more, I think,
Hmm.
is like that's what we're supposed to do instead of holding it in. Because when we hold it in, that stuff gets stuck. And I feel like mostly the regrets that I have are when I don't say things. When I'm receiving
Yes.
stuff and I don't
Oh
say it, that's what I regret way more than
yeah. Hmm.
just saying, like, hey, this is random. And I would just say whatever.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are my biggest regrets are the moments I didn't say something. And I have a lot of regrets. Not I don't hold myself, I don't put pressure on myself for this, but in middle school and high school, watching bullying happen and
Oh,
feeling like I couldn't do anything about it and not stepping in, but
hmm,
just holding on to that hate and holding on to that fear of that
Yeah.
person as well, and putting myself out there, I've felt regret on that end of the spectrum. Yeah.
Hmm. It's funny because I'm so weird. I'm all over the place like I normally am, but uh, I would either be bullying someone or I would be standing up for someone being bullied.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but either way, I would say something. I felt like I was pretty much always the person who would say what everyone else was thinking,
Uh-huh.
but people wouldn't say it, but I would say it. Sometimes I would get in trouble, but like whatever, I did it. But I do feel bad sometimes. There's one thing in particular I feel bad about dumping mustard on someone. That was not nice at all.
Oh, bummer.
But
It wasn't
yeah,
me, so
yeah.
yeah.
But I do remember a couple of times speaking up for people being bullied. One time in particular, seventh grade computer class,
Hmm.
there was a student who stuttered, and the teacher was like, spit it out already, while he was struggling to get ask a question. All the other kids know this. We've gone to school with him. He's asking a question, he's starting to stutter. It's okay. We're all being patient. She says, spit it out already, or something along those lines. And I was just absolutely disgusted. I was
Hmm.
like, how dare you? Like, but she's a teacher. So if I was like, fuck you to a teacher, like, I mean, not that I
Yeah.
wouldn't. I mean, I somebody wouldn't put it past me, but that's not how we want to be. But yeah. And then years later, I reached out to him online actually, and I told him that I remembered that and how
Yeah.
I felt so sorry that I didn't speak up, because someone should have spoken up and how horrible that was. And that I was very happy because he was coming out about how he overcame his stutter. Like
Uh-huh.
he was like did interviews or was on a commercial or something along those lines, and he shared it. So it was open to talk about. And I sent
Wow.
him a message and I was like, "Hey, I just wanted to say I remember that vividly, and she was a bitch."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hindsight 2020, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
we hopefully take those things in our lives and we continue to progress now and start to become those people that we were afraid of being back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Because what do we have to lose?
At this point, nothing.
Yeah.
We already almost lost our sense of self at one point, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was the most important thing to hold on to.
Yeah. And it's important to also surround yourself with people who like want you to be your full self and support you in the things that you're doing. Because for example, in my circumstance, there were times where like my ex would turn to me and be like, you shouldn't say what you sh maybe you shouldn't say so much. Sometimes I see the way people look at you and I'm like, oh, like made me feel like self-conscious for being me. And I was like, that's not right. But
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
That's why they're an ex. But that's we just move on. We find different environments. If something's not comfortable, just recognizing that and knowing that you deserve to be recognized and supported, and there are good people who want to hear what you have to say and think you have good ideas. And if you're not around the right people right now, it doesn't mean that you can't be. You just might have to let some things go, and it's a tough transition, but it's always worth it on the other side.
absolutely it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, are you getting into this with one-on-one coaching, or are you doing like group things?
I'm not getting into coaching. So
Okay.
that is like I've considered it. It really my gut is like I don't want to coach. I don't want to learn to coach yet. Right
Um,
now.
I don't think you need to learn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess
I think
I
that you could be. I'm getting strong coach vibes.
Oh,
Like you
good.
totally
Yeah,
can have like one-on-one containers that people
yeah.
work with you for specific stuff, or are you not leaning in that direction?
Currently not leaning in that direction. And that might just be due to, limiting beliefs that I have. I'm really taking it one thing at a time. And with the
Hmm.
speaking that sort of came to me and I
Mm-hmm.
realized just how much I loved the performance part of it, like as an actor or a former actor, and
Mm-hmm.
as an athlete getting ready for the big game, it feels exactly the same. So it's like the best of both worlds for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I noticed that once I did a couple of talks and I was like, okay, I'm cold pitching all these people now and they're not responding. How do you compete in the business of public speaking? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm now in a mastermind, an 8-week mastermind with Jen Gottlieb, who is a phenomenal speaker and business owner as well. Um, and in this cohort, we're learning how to build out our keynotes with going from, for me, a 20-minute talk to a framework that sustains 45 minutes to an hour and aligning our messaging, aligning our branding. You've seen more from the social media side for me because that's a really great modem for me to express myself. And I love the
Mm-hmm.
artfulness of doing it. And I really love the challenge of like, how do you go viral? How do you create your own space or community here? Um, and obviously, I always have to be careful of not doing it for anything other than I want to inspire people.
Yeah.
Versus, it's very easy for me to fall back into the path of this achievement will make me feel loved. This achievement. So I'm always checking myself on that. But right now it's more I want to get on stages, I want to talk, I want to fail on the go, and I want to learn how to just do it and get my hands dirty right now. So
Mm-hmm.
speaker fees is really all I'm selling right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And speaker fees is not the be all end all. It's just, I don't have a product to sell right now. So that's why I
Mm-hmm.
say I'm not a coach yet. That might be a path I go down. But while I'm working full time and with kids and building this speaking part of me as well, um, there's only so much that I feel I can give my complete attention to. And
Absolutely.
right now, this is a stage. This is like doing it raw, learning how to speak my message. So I'm so grateful for what
Oh
you have,
yeah.
have given me in this moment. And now I have a podcast mic too. That was what a great excuse to
Yeah,
buy one.
right? Yes, because you need that in your production. You need to like,
Yeah.
have the right tools. And it's I'm so proud that you're opening up that space, opening up your soul, your mind and sharing it with people and inspiring others to do the same because we definitely need that. We always have, we always will. And right now especially, and I'm very thankful for that. So I just want to express that. Uh,
Yeah. I'm so proud of you for doing the podcast thing.
Yeah, thanks. I don't even know what it's really going to be. It's really just, it's literally in my experience. It's
Yeah.
people that I know, things that have happened, things that, different, sometimes crazy experiences, sometimes very grounded conversations. Like this, for example, was a very grounded conversation. Sometimes I'm talking about dragons and time travel. Who
Oh yeah.
knows? But it's all part of this world, this thing we call life. So,
Yeah.
I love having such a wide array of topics, and you're
Yeah.
inspiring me to become a more serious speaker. I feel like I'm all over the place, but I also smoked a joint a little bit earlier, so I'm kind of like all.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I
Calm
do
the nerves a little.
I do such things sometimes. Sometimes it just depends.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll wrap it up for today. And where can people find you online? What do you go by online?
So online, my Instagram is at certifiably creative, kind of like certifiably insane, but a little bit better for being
Yes.
creative. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I love it.
But that's the number one sort of place you can find me right now, where I'm posting my social media. I'm working on getting a page up for booking speaking gigs and things, but that will
Hmm.
probably be announced through my Instagram page.
Yes, yes. Follow Bobby on Instagram at certifiably creative. And I've seen some things. There's this one guy that talks, his name's Taylor, and the one page that I watch him on, it's like explaining the man brain,
Uh huh.
but he has other things he talks about. But booked a TEDx talk, and he's like, this is what you need to do if you want to become a speaker or an authority. It's just people that, book things for you to come and talk on. All you have to do is book a TEDx talk. And it's like, well,
Yeah.
how do you do that?
Oh, sure thing.
Like,
Can I
sounds
fill
good.
out the form?
You will though. You know what? We'll do some magic for that. Set that on your vision board, and
That's a good one to,
yeah,
yeah, that's a good one to put on there.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Bobby. I really appreciate it. And everyone, check out Bobby, watch him grow. He's going places. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chrissy. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, take care.
Take care.
Bye. Thank you so much for being in this conversation with Bobby and me. What I love about what Bobby shared is that vulnerability is not a branding strategy, it's a practice. It's daily, it's sometimes inconvenient, and it is what it takes to make real leadership possible. If something in this episode opened you, softened you, or helped you name an experience you've been carrying, I would love to hear about it. You can connect with Bobby on Instagram at Certifiably Creative to follow his speaking work and what he's building next. You can find me at Hyacinth Healing, where I offer spaces for integration, Akashic insight, and deep witnessing for people walking complex paths. If this episode felt important, share it with someone that you trust. We grow stronger together by telling the truth. I'll see you in the next one.